When life hands you a giant apple, make a video about it. Greetings and welcome back to another Applicious episode of the Vodkast. I'm your host as always, Geycen Oliveira, and with us is a giant fucking apple today. I kid you not. Look at this compared to the size of my head. Look at this. It is the biggest apple in almost 49 years. I'm 48. I'll be 49. Well, not quite at the end of the month because it's a leap year this year, but on the 28th, I'll be 49 years old. But in all of those years, I have never, ever seen an apple this big. It's like a grapefruit. It's like, I can't explain how large this thing is. Like, I don't know if video adds 10 pounds to it or not, but it is the envy of all apples. It is an envy apple. I believe it's actually the company is envy because if I'm not mistaken, this is a Honeycrisp. I've never seen a Honeycrisp this big before. I've seen some Granny Smiths get a little bit bigger. I mean, not bigger than this, but big. But this is just, when I saw this, my first reaction was, I need to bring this home and I need to show my family this apple. This is a giant apple. This is a massive apple. Could you imagine a worm that snaked its way in here? How large that worm could get eating off of this apple? It could eat for years. It could be massive. It could do anything. It could probably run for president at that point. Probably better than our current selections. And you also might be asking yourself, Jay, why are you wearing a vest today? Well, I could ask myself the same question, but then you'd call me crazy. I don't know. Do you think that this would be enough to make an entire apple pie? I feel like maybe 2 of these and you could make a whole apple pie out of these. What else could you, applesauce? Could you imagine the amount of applesauce you'd make with this apple? I'm just going to keep showing you this apple camera to camera just because I can't believe, in all honesty, look at my hand. Like, I don't have the biggest hands in the world, but that's like, I can't, it's like a softball. It's clearly a softball-sized apple. I'd almost go as far to say grapefruit, but it might be a little bit smaller than a grapefruit. I'm not 100% sure. But either way, it's big. Would you agree? Would you say that this is the biggest apple you've ever seen? I can't remember the exact weight of it, but I took a picture of the weight of it. I'll put it on the screen now so you can see. I don't know what the average apple's weight is, but that seems like it's probably exceeding the standard. That's a heavy apple. It's hefty too. Like, if I threw this at your head, it would probably bruise you. I don't think it would knock you out. I don't want to bruise the apple either. We're not even going to demo this. I'm so impressed by the size of this apple. I couldn't bring myself to slice it. I mean, eventually I'm going to. I don't want to waste food. But, like, this is just insane. It's such a big apple. Speaking of big apples, you know what else I love? Tapatio hot fries. I came across these at the dollar store today. You didn't think you were going to get a review as well, but you are. And that review is hot fries. This hot picante hot fries, salsa picante hot fries. I bought these on a whim. My wife really likes the Andes hot fries, so I was just like, oh, Tapatio. I love Tapatio. I'm sure they're, not that hot, and they weren't that hot, but they do get a little bit of a bite to them. However, they've got a sweet tang to them. Not a sweet tang, just a tang to them. They are really, like, they got a bite to them. They're hot to the extent that you can imagine in a hot fry being hot, maybe a little bit hotter than that, not quite as hot as what is the Cheetos, the Flamin' Hot, but they are very delicious. They have a very unique flavor to them. It definitely rings true with the Tapatio flavor in here. Tapatio is what I've always said, but that little tilde thing over the I, I'm not sure what that is. Like, I would assume that's Tapatio. Wouldn't you assume? I don't know, but I'm giving these my 10 and recommendation for the week. If you're at the Dollar Tree for $1.25, there's still a bunch in here, and I've been going to town on these a lot more than I normally do. They're fantastic fries. What about this apple, though? I can't get over this apple. I wonder why it's a number 80. Now, speaking of Big Apples, I have a friend, Brad, who lives in the Big Apple in New York, and he put out a movie about a year and a half ago called Cryptid. If you haven't checked it out, you should check out there. I'll try to put some kind of a link in the cards up there. I don't know. He's got a channel, so you could probably watch the trailer from there. Also, I have another friend, Jess Carlozzi, who does a cryptid channel. I have been known to go on there and co-host from time to time. It's a fantastic channel if you're into learning about cryptids. She interviews a lot of really interesting people on there. I get to be a part of some of that. So if you're into cryptids, you should definitely go check out her channel now. So for the last 2 weeks, I've been kind of experimenting, throwing in some kind of food reviews with things like this and a lot of Dungeons & Dragons stuff. And a lot of you guys have really responded to the Dungeons & Dragons stuff. So I am going to start mixing things in a little bit. It'll alleviate the stress of me having to go out there and find products to review. I really enjoy Dungeons and Dragons. I always have for the last 30 years. And I hope you guys are enjoying that type of the content. I know it's totally different than the rest of the channel, but the Vodcast was never intended to be one certain thing. And maybe that hurts me, maybe that helps me, but I like the variety. So we can consider the Vodcast a variety show from this day forth, whether it be an interview that I'm going to do, a food review I'm going to do, I'm going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, I'm going to do a demo, whatever it's going to be, and I hope you guys are loving the content that I'm creating. I woke up this morning knowing that I was going to film a review, or not a review, but we were going to talk about this giant apple, and I didn't know what to say about it. And I just knew that it's the most massive apple I've ever seen, and I'm going to leave it at that with the apple, but maybe next time it'll be a lemon. Now you might be asking yourself, Jay, why are you wearing a scarf? Why'd you trade your vest for a scarf? And for that, I would say it just felt right. Well, let's wrap this up. I hope you guys are loving the content I'm creating as much as I love creating the content that you guys are watching. And if you are, would you please consider liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, and then hit the little bell icon because it'll let you know every time I put out a new video. Don't forget to make somebody smile today and make yourself a better person tomorrow than you were today. Tomorrow, let's make the world spin a little bit happier and a little bit happier together. Let's sing and dance in the sun and in the rain as one, my brothers and sisters. Live life to the fullest and love every moment of it because you just never know when that last moment's going to come for you. However, don't you ever live in fear of that moment. Always live in love and never let your inner child die. Take care of yourselves, take care of one another, and take care of those around you who cannot take care of themselves, for they are the ones that need it the most. And if no one has told you today that they love you, the Vodcast loves you very much, just the way you are. All right, guys, do no harm. I'm Geycen Oliveira. This is the Vodcast. And I'll catch you guys a little bit further on down the road. Take care, my friends.
Don't go to sleep with a catch it in your pocket.